measuring myself on my weight loss journey, wondering, does this even matter? Hi, I'm Dina. Welcome to my channel, Living Mosaic. Thanks for joining me. So today I'm going to talk about something interesting that I just recently noticed. So I've kind of been on and off again with the idea of taking measurements. I did take some kind of measurements earlier in my journey, and I just kind of felt a little bit inept with taking the measurements. Not a professional measure taker. I wasn't sure if I was doing it correctly, those type of things. And maybe some of you have experienced that type of thing as well. So I've also been inspired by others who take their measurements and they're keeping track of that, because I think it would be somewhat useful, once the journey is at a close, right? So I'm definitely impressed by those that do. But what I learned about myself is I don't know if that's something I want to do. And here's what came to me the other day. I was thinking about when I first moved into my house, and I was hanging a picture above my couch. And I'm going to post a picture here. When you look at this picture, do you notice anything about this picture? Anything that seems off? Well, I'm going to tell you, it is not quite level. And to this day, that picture that hangs above my couch is still not quite level. And here's what I remember thinking about that picture when I hung that picture. I had been in a whole new transition of life with buying the house, and I hung that picture by myself. And I felt like at the time I did the best I could with it. So when I look at the picture after having hung it and seeing that's a little bit off, I remember telling myself, that's okay. I'm fine with it. Now, if I would have taken the picture down, taken the nails out of the wall, and potentially try to locate a more level layout for those nails, I would have had more holes in the wall. But what if it still didn't work the second time? I would have had more holes in the wall. So therefore, trying to perfect it, okay, would have caused more damage. And so at the time when I did that with the picture on the wall, I was like, I'm okay with this, because in the big picture, no pun intended, I had accomplished something great. I had purchased my house and I had hung that picture up by myself. I'm not alone in my life, but I hung the picture by myself. And to me, that was an accomplishment, because I am not any kind of person who knows how to do any kind of, home restoration, remodeling, anything like that. I have a very minimal idea and even less experience with it. And anything I do try to do, I would either ask someone who I knew the information, or I would Google it. Okay? So recently, thinking about that picture that hangs in my living room, I was thinking, okay, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to do everything, especially if I feel like I'm not doing it correctly. So doing my measurements and not feeling I was doing it correctly, I feel what could potentially just be more damaging, because they wouldn't be exact, or there wouldn't be a trend to see, there wouldn't be something to where I could actually follow that would make any semblance of sense. And that's what I was thinking about it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not doing that part of my journey, not taking measurements. And for me, even though, yeah, it would be a good tracking tool, and for many people it is, and like I said, I'm inspired and I'm impressed by them, but for me it just isn't going to work. And I'm accepting that of myself. And I feel like a big part of our journey really should be accepting ourselves where we are. And I'm not going to be like any other person on YouTube sharing their journey. Are we going to have similarities? Sure we will. But we're not going to be exactly the same. We're not cookie cutouts. We're all different. Our genetics are different. Our body shapes are different. Our hormones are different. Our thinking is different. And it's just one of those things that does not matter to me to measure. I'm doing things in my journey that I feel are beneficial to me, just like those of you out there on your own weight loss journey are doing things that you think are beneficial to you. And herein lies my big idea that is a mindset. And when we are measuring ourselves up, so to speak, for being in this journey, in this walk of health, that's what I call it, then it's a mindset on how we are going to determine where we want to be when we get from point A to point B. Okay? So whether you measure, whether you use a scale every day, weekly, don't measure, that's okay. Because you're doing it and you're the one that's following your own pathway here. It's a pathway to healing. And a part of that is being accepting of yourself and being merciful to yourself and being kind to yourself. And I see this with others who are sharing on YouTube, that they're okay with the changes, that they're working through the progress, even in small steps, even when they go maybe slower than someone else. No one's pace is going to be the same. Some people lose weight faster than others. Some people try something new before someone else would try it. And one of those things, even for me, is exercise. I'm a very busy person. I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm saying that's a reality for me. I'm very busy. There's so much on my plate. And I'm really trying to navigate that the best I can. So I'm doing it when I can and getting my steps in, as you've seen some of my videos about, getting my steps in. That's been a goal of mine. This week, I have not done well at all with that. I was not feeling too well last Friday. I had like a stomach, like a pain in my stomach, and it lasted 3 days. And I think that was just related to taking a couple days of protein shakes that were milk-based. And I sort of mentioned a little bit of that in another video. And then I ended up getting like a sinus thing. And so the sinus stuff has really tuckered me out, and I've had to rest a lot. So I literally look at my watch and look at my step counter. No day this week have I been able to reach my 5,000 step goal. Not one single day. But I'm also okay with that, because I know that every other day. I challenge myself, and when I'm feeling well, I'm on it. I'm really hustling. I'm trying to do it. And that's good. And I'm inspired by others, who are doing their challenges and who are working out and all the different things. And I'm just trying to incorporate what I can when I can. And I like that I'm doing that. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something. So I want to encourage you in your walk as well. It doesn't have to be perfect. So when we take account of our day, don't put yourself down for not meeting a certain goal. When you take your goals and put them on paper or jot them down in your phone, or even just put them in your mind and think about, oh yeah, I want to do this today. Have it as a goal, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay. If you tried something, anything is better than nothing, right? So be gentle on yourself, be merciful, and be loving and kind to yourself. Because the journey itself, being on it, is a success. And this is what I tell people I work with. I say, if you're here trying to get help, trying to do something, then you're halfway successful, right? You're already on the path of success. And I truly mean that, because it's a person who doesn't take accountability and a person who doesn't want to be responsible for making changes in their life to better themselves. They're the ones that are not on the best successful path, right? It's the ones who are trying, even if it's in small ways. And I think it's so easy for us to be hard on ourselves and give ourselves, just a stern talking to, or say bad things, and I could have done that because I didn't reach my step goal this week. But I know that I tried, even though it didn't happen. And it was on my mind, and I did what I could when I could. And I did make a difference in those areas. I still tried. And I was like, oops, I didn't get it. And is it a bummer? Yeah, it's a bummer. But I can try to do better tomorrow. And that's kind of what my goal is. I don't have to be and do everything in one day, right? And my life motto is be better today than you were yesterday. And in whatever way that looks like, okay? Whether it's meeting a step goal, whether it's meeting another exercise goal, whether it's just getting outside for a walk, or is it being kinder in tone to yourself or to others? Those things are immensely valuable, and it sets you on the right track for overall success, because it's not just the body that we're working on, it's our mindset and how we reframe things and view things in a whole new way. And so I hope this message encourages you today to know that you have to find what matters in your journey, and you have to make it count the best you can, because we are all different and we're all made differently. So I just want to thank you for coming to my channel, listening to my videos, commenting, and giving me feedback. I really appreciate that. And it would mean so much to me if you're just passing by, and if you want to subscribe, like, and share. Leave comments. I love the feedback. I really do. I love engaging in the GLP-1 community. I feel it is so supportive. And I know others feel the same way. So just continue with me. If you find anything I put on here as valuable for you, anything that's interesting, and hopefully you can learn more from me, and I can pour into you and share, part of me with you and help you along the way. Because supporting is really, I would say, top notch in the journey, is when you have the right support system in place. So at the end of my videos, I like to do a little living self-care rally where I just kind of tap my fingers on my shoulders just like that, nice and easy. And I say, I matter. And you can do it with me. I am valued. I am loved. And I am a living mosaic. And then I also like to do my living word Bible verse. And today's verse is from Luke 6:31. And it says, and just as you want men to do to you, you also do to them likewise. And I think that one's very fitting for today's message, interestingly enough. So, again, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon, the next time around. And remember, you are a living mosaic. Bye.